The time has come for me to finally do a video on clown loaches. This is way overdue and I apologize. Clown loaches are a pinnacle to the industry and I cannot believe it's taken this long to actually do a video on it. I've just been so busy. Oh look, the flower horn. Anyways, I still haven't named the flower horn. If you guys have any ideas on what to name the flower horn, you should give a shout out in the comments. I'm thinking of something. I thought about naming him after Joel Christensen from the podcast Real Fish Talk. I'm sure a bunch of you guys follow him. Why Joel? Because Joel is a brainiac, and this cock on top of his head really reminds me of Joel's huge brain, and I think it really suits him. Joel is very well dressed. He's a good looking man. I'm not coming on to you, Joel. I feel like my flower horn reminds me of you. You're really boisterous, you're good looking, and you got a huge brain. Like the planted life and the saltwater life. Messing with acrylic, I've learned so much from you. A shout out to Real Fish Talk. What you guys do is amazing. I'm a little bitter because you guys aren't doing any more episodes. I completely understand. It's a huge time sponge. But anyways, back to today's topic on clown loaches. I can't even express how cool clown loaches are. These fish are extremely important to the industry for a bunch of reasons. A lot of people use them as a cleanup crew in cleaning up pest snails. A lot of people use them as like a bottom feeder. If you have gravel, it works great because they're constantly picking apart the gravel. God, this vein on my neck, I just get so pumped up. It just bulges. Blah, 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 blah. All right, I'm gonna keep my cool here. There's tons and tons of reasons to love clown loaches. What kind of sucks is they grow pretty large, but that shouldn't hold you back. You should go out and buy a decent sized tank because these things are extraordinary. They can grow up to a foot long, and they're so vibrant in colors. The number one reason why clown loaches are so popular is their personality. They gotta be the most boisterous fish in the industry. Like, they have so much personality. They'll play dead. They'll flip upside down, play dead. They like to be in groups. We'll talk about that. And the way they interact with each other is just insane. Like, you could watch them for hours. And there's a bunch of people, including Corey from Aquarium Co-op, in his 800-gallon. He has it just stacked with clown loaches. And you will find that there's a lot of people that really adore clown loaches, and that's for a good reason. Oh, the flower horn's back. I don't know, guys. Should I name him Joel? I don't know. He reminds me of Joel. Hopefully Joel doesn't find out about this and comment, because I don't know. I feel like it's a compliment, Joel. He's boisterous. He's really well dressed. He looks good. I'm a married man, so I'm not coming on to you, like I said. But back to topic. Let's take a look at some beautiful clown loaches, and I'll just babble about taking care of these awesome fish. All right, so let's talk about the core basics when it comes to buying a clown loach and just setting up a tank. First, you need to know that these things can grow up to a foot long. It's pretty normal for them to get around 10 to 12 inches in an aquarium. They have been found in the wild up to like 20 inches, but that's not going to happen in an aquarium. And second, you need to buy them in groups because they really thrive in groups. People really screw this up and they'll buy like 2 or 3 of them, but please buy 4 or 5 of them. They do a lot better. And what you also need to know is that when things go wrong with your water parameters, clown loaches are going to be the first to get sick. I don't know what it is with them, but they seem to be super weak when it comes to nitrates. So if I were to give you any advice, keep your nitrates as low as possible and just keep up on water changes. I know that's easier said than done, but you should also know, like, keep this in the back of your head, because if you keep an eye on your clown loaches, you at least know right now that they're going to be the first to get sick, and they will commonly catch ick this is like the telltale sign that something is wrong with your water, because your clown loaches have ick. Just take that advice from me right now. I've dealt with this problem over and over and over. Tank size, I would say, I want to tell you a 125 gallon tank, because you have 5 fish, 5 clown loaches that grow to a foot long. But I know a lot of people keep a bunch of them in 75 gallon tanks. I'm a huge fan of big tanks. So if you're looking for a small tank fish, this just isn't your fish. I'm sorry to say, but it's just not going to work out. As far as feeding them, they are very opportunistic feeders. They will be constantly digging at your substrate looking for food, and they will eat and eat and eat. So you need to make sure not to give them too much food, because chances are they're also going to be eating the food that the other fish let go, like the stuff that's on the bottom. They also happen to be great bottom feeder fish for cleaning your substrate, because they eat all the uneaten food. I like to compare them to a goldfish, because a lot of times they're just sitting there sifting through it. They're great cleaners. The name clownfish, or clown loach, sorry, it has to be resembling their personality, because this fish, I feel, single-handedly has the most personality of every other fish on the planet as far as keeping in tanks. These things, like, I could watch them for hours. It's like they all have some sort of crazy plan to take over the world, and if they're not breeding or shoaling with other loaches, they're just, or they're upside down. You will commonly see them upside down. I always see posts in the Facebook group, hey, is something wrong with my clown loach? It's upside down. That's just something clown loaches do. You'll learn this. Guys, these are super exquisite fish. I adore them. As you see here in this tank, I maybe wouldn't keep them with an Oscar fish, but tank mates, anything general community fish that is nice. A lot of people keep them with South American cichlids, barbs, other tetras. It's really up to you, as long as the fish isn't going to eat it and fit it in its mouth. Now that we're done talking about clown loaches, I wanted to give you guys some updates on the fish room. A bunch of you guys have been asking about the electric blue Jack Dempseys. They're doing absolutely great. They're in this tank, as a lot of you know, with a blood parrot and a small jaguar cichlid. They're actually extremely timid. I don't know, I don't really like how timid they actually are. Like, it really sucks. I know Jack Dempseys are known to be timid. You can see one of them under the sponge filter right there. They are still extremely small. I'm thinking about switching the tanks, because I'm a little worried about the height of this tank. Maybe it has some funny thing to do with the depth of the tank, or maybe it's just not the right parameters. I really don't know what it is, but I'm thinking about putting them in this tank. I just rescaped this. These are all fake plants, if you're wondering. If you want to buy these fake plants, I'll throw a link in the description box, because these are my favorite fake plants. I've done a bunch of videos on them. I think 75 gallon tanks and just lower, less deep tanks are better for cichlids in general. I got someone trying to call me. Anyhow, I'm thinking about putting them in there. And I have a new hybrid I've been telling you guys about. I just installed a divider on this tank, and here he is. He's kind of a pink color. He's probably a mix between a red devil and something else. The fish store had him named as something special, but I'm just not believing it. He looks pretty much like a red devil, has a little pinkish color to it. Nothing too special, but I'm on the search for a female, either a red devil, a blood parrot, a green Texas. I have a bunch of green Texas, but they're not quite, I gave a bunch away, and my female green Texases are not that, they're not, I can't speak, they're not large enough to breed right now. So what else? Give you some more updates. I already talked to you about the flower horn tank below. I'm doing a tank change on this tank, obviously. What I'm trying to do while I'm moving to the shop and moving all the tanks out there, I'm trying to put as many fish in as little amount of tanks as possible. And that's hard to do sometimes. I'm probably gonna have to get a bunch of dividers involved because instead of bucketing fish, I can just stack tanks full. And I also need to start stacking the tanks with sponge filters and growing bacteria, because I need to have a bunch of sponge filters that have grown enough bacteria to filter a bunch of tanks, because I'm going to have buttloads of tanks and it's going to be a task to cycle all of them. So I'm just going to jumpstart all of them with sponge filters essentially. I'm just babbling here, but all the fish are doing great in here. These red Texas, they're not very colorful, I've been realizing, and I'm guessing this is what people are complaining about when polluting the industry with hybrids, because some of these red Texas cichlid that I'm picking up just aren't that colorful. So, and that's the problem with hybrids. Same with all the Midas, the red devils. This guy does look really cool. He's my baby, if you will. But some of these Midas just are looking kind of plain, and they're tough fish to get rid of, to be completely honest, especially in this area. This red Texas, I mean, these aren't known as like super red Texas or anything. So, just giving you guys some updates. If anybody local is interested in the piranhas, I'll let them go for really cheap, just because I'm moving all the tanks and I would like to see them go to a good home. I have about 7 6-inch red belly piranhas, and I'll let them go for cheap. And they are worth some money, because I know people that sell them, and there's 7 of them. Super cool fish. All right, guys, hit up the comments. This video is on clown loaches. Clown loaches are exquisite fish, easy to take care of, and great for bottom feeders, etc., etc. I'm gonna quit blabbing here. Hopefully you guys like this vid. Let me know if you guys have any new fish species I should do videos on. I'm trying to catch up with all the questions. It's been insane, so if you're wondering why I'm uploading like 1 million videos lately, it's because I'm trying to catch up with all these fish species, and there's still a lot more. So I apologize to the subscribers that are getting annoyed, but I'm just trying to catch up. This is a Q&A channel after all, and I'm just doing what I want to do. So yeah, everything's going great, guys. Let me know what you want the next videos to be on.